Okay, so I figured I would just give a quick overview of what I got going on so far. So this is just the basic starter base that I've been using. This will just produce anything I need, so that way I can build a factory. I'm trying to get this completely tore down, but I don't have any production for like supercomputers and turbo motors and stuff like that. So for the sake of being able to actually continue to build stuff, I have to leave this up still, unfortunately. But what do we got here? So the first thing we have here is just mainly a bunch of resources coming in from the center of the map, and I'm bringing them all in via conveyor belt along this north coast. So what do I have here? So I'm making about around 4,000 silica a minute. Quartz crystal, I'm making about 1,800 quartz crystal a minute. We're bringing in 4 belts of copper, and I'm just converting it all to copper sheets. So I'm using the pure copper recipe and then steamed copper sheets to get 10 belts of copper sheets. I'm using wet concrete. I have 18 belts of limestone coming into here, and it's all getting converted to concrete. So there's 12 belts of concrete here. I'm currently utilizing all of it except for 2 belts to make steel pipes. So I'm gonna need to get more concrete. I'm also bringing in 13 belts of iron ore, which with the pure recipe turns into 24 belts of iron. We have 24 belts of iron, and that's pretty much all this corner is used for, just the iron, the copper, and the limestone. I do also have 2 belts of deuterium. I'm bringing in 4 belts of deuterium, and I'm doing the pure recipe on that, so I have 2 belts of deuterium ingots that I'm sending off towards where I'm building my main. I'll head over there now. It's all just in this huge conveyor belt. I did the half stack to get things narrow. I don't know if I'd ever do it again. It's very compact, but it's extremely difficult to try and pull belts off at it when you get to the point where you need to transfer things off of the belt. So now over here, I have a main conveyor belt line that runs straight through the middle of the map, and it picks up all of the bauxite. And while I was picking up all the bauxite, I just tried to get as many resources as I could along in that conveyor belt line, just to maximize the points. Because I mean, I was already building the conveyor belt line, so I may as well just pull some resources. So I have 14 belts of coal, the 10 belts of bauxite. I have another 13 belts of iron, and I am bringing in there's 5 belts of copper here, and I'm bringing in another one from below that meets up here. So I'm getting again another 24 belts of iron ingots here, 15 belts of copper ingots. All of the bauxite is getting converted into ingots, so I have the 9 belts of ingots. These all run steady. It's very important with the aluminum that you just constantly have a sink going, or else the water will back up, and it's kind of a nightmare. So I just have everything wired together, so if I do turn it off, the entire system shuts off and all parts of it. So, but not really much point in turning it off. I just leave it running. So if you come up here to the next floor, I haven't done too much beautifying yet. That'll come later, I suppose. So I wasn't sure the exact ratios, and I'm just kind of winging it. I'm just trying to build lots of things, but I'm not really sure what's optimal on how many I should be having of each thing. So be it. If I end up having too much of something and not enough of another, I guess it is what it is. Like I said, I didn't really do any pre-planning. I'm just kind of going at it. So of the aluminum, I am using 4 belts to do the alkalide casing, to make 3 belts of casings. So 3 full belts of casings. The rest of the aluminum all goes towards making aluminum sheets, and all the aluminum sheets then go on to make heat sinks. And the ratios all worked out pretty good. I think I have 3 belts of casings. The sheets, I don't need them for anything, so they are all getting converted to heat sinks. And then the heat sinks just go along. I have 1 full belt, so 1200 heat sinks. I'm just sinking them all right now. And so all my aluminum is being consumed right now. So this is where all the steel goes. 12 belts of steel just going into the steel pipe alternative recipe. So I have 12 belts of steel. I'm currently utilizing, or I have 10 belts of steel, and I'm currently utilizing 8 of them. The other 2 I'm just sinking. So we go down here. I'm using 3 belts, I believe, to make reinforced or encased industrial beams. I believe it's 3 belts. Yeah, that looks like 3. So 3 belts to make encased industrial beams. I'm only producing 600 of them. I will probably have to get more of that, but I will have to then start venturing into the desert, which I haven't really tapped anything in the desert yet. Then these 5 other belts of pipes go down towards stators and rotors. And each of these sections produces a belt of each. So this is producing a belt of stators. This over here is producing a belt of rotors. All of this requires 14 belts of wire, which I'm just using the fused wire recipe. So it seemed like the best way to go. I'm only utilizing about a belt, just under half a belt of caterium, and just under 2 belts of copper. So it worked out pretty good because I was able to add just some extra here. And even if these are crafting wire and copper, it's not enough to cannibalize the line. So this will still run 100% steady, even if these are crafting to make my quick wire and stuff like that for my dimensional depots. We head up here. So these stators and rotors, I like to deal in just belt numbers. I find that to be the easiest. So I have 1 belt of stators, 1 belt of rotors, and I just have all those going towards making motors. And I'm making half a belt of motors. So I'm making 600 motors per minute down here. With the motors, I again wanted to maybe try and get more. If I don't know if I'm going to need more than 600 motors a minute. If I do, then again I will have to I need to get more steel so that way I can make rotors and stators. But for now we're just doing 600 a minute. Now this over here was a lot of belting. This is 2400 reinforced iron plates a minute. I just opted to do the standard recipe. I didn't have any real, I didn't really want to get into using too much of my copper because I didn't know if I was going to need it more. So I had a ton of iron, so I figured I would just convert lots of that iron into the iron for the plates itself. So this thing consumes like something I don't even know. It's ridiculous how many belts of iron it consumes, and it just makes 28,800 screws per minute, 14,400 plates per minute. Those all get crafted down here. I think it's something like I think 18 belts alone goes into the making the plates or something. Let's see. I've started to lose track of things. I should probably I make a spreadsheet for lots of things, and I don't have it for this. So there's 10 belts there. Well, this is including the ones in the back probably. $17. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I was right. So 18 belts of ingots all gets converted down into the plates, and then all the plates go up, and then all the screws over. These are, oh, that's actually the next thing. These are rods being produced for modular frames that are being crafted with the reinforced plates. This was very nice because the rods are super simple. It's just 1-to-1, so I'm just feeding I think it's 8, yeah, 8 belts of iron in, 8 belts of rods out, so that was kind of nice. And everything else kind of, yeah, flows over here. The screws, right? The screws are all being produced here. Very nice. You only need 2 constructors per. I have majority of everything overclocked just to get the number of machines down. I have a lot of power, so that's not really an issue. So I try and overclock as much as I can, just to, like I said, get the building count as low as possible to reduce lag. So all these screws, it's kind of insane that that small of a footprint is crafting 24 entire Mark 6 belts of screws. But so all those screws go down towards making the plates, 2 belts of plates, and then I have all of those plates going here, and it makes 1600 modular frames per minute, and that will conveniently work out. This is as far as I've gotten so far. I haven't taken it to heavy modular frames. With these 1600 modular frames, I'll be able to make I believe it's 600 heavy encased beams, or heavy encased or heavy modular frames, sorry. But I will need to get more concrete and more steel pipes. I have kind of everything else that I need, but I just need a little bit more for that. But then, yeah, this is all making the modular frames, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. So go down here. Yeah, so 1 full belt plus the extra 6. Yeah, I think it's 1600. It's 1.33 full belts. That's how much I know. Which yeah, it should be 1600. I'm currently started, haven't really gotten too far in it. I'm planning on converting all of the oil. I wanted to try and separate things, so I've just recently got all of this oil together, and I have done the diluted fuel, heavy oil residue diluted fuel on it, and that's, I'm just going to make that a massive rubber and plastic factory. I opted to do it there as opposed to the oil here because I figured it might be large, and I wanted to kind of try and reduce the lag as much as possible. So I figured the oil that is here, I will end up maybe just doing the oil-based diamonds recipe or something like that to utilize with that, because then I just need to have a couple particle accelerators. It'll be pretty lag efficient, I figure. That's my starter steel factory. Just more conveyor belt lines here. This one's a little bit wonky. The terrain I had to go through was a little awkward. It's not finished. It's all currently under construction. But we have the oil tower here. I'll give Brackett credit for that one. He told me to make that, so all the oil pumps there, so we don't need to have any pumps. It all just flows into these refineries. And then down here, all the water gets piped up into the blenders for the diluted fuel. Like I said, this is all under construction. Just finished this at the end of the stream today. So yeah, everything's coming along nicely, and kind of looking forward to maybe getting to start doing like circuit boards and computers and stuff like that. I'll probably end up putting that main base south over here, over the water is kind of what I'm thinking, which will, one, give me an easy access to all these resources that I haven't tapped into yet, and just there's lots of water and it's a big open space, so it's kind of a nice area. But anyways, that's all I got for you. So be sure to check out the live stream if you want to come hang out when I'm building, and yeah, I'll maybe post some more updates as things go. But thanks for watching, and take it easy.